Oh my God, who it is?
Here,
It's Bruh
world, here
Me
we
Goes
are.
Podcast.
Oh, oh,
Let
oh,
them have it.
oh.
Let them have it.
All
Let them
that,
have it.
all that. Give me,
Just take it
get
off.
all of this.
Just take all.
314, baby.
Look at him, repping for
Uh,
the St. Louis
uh,
round
uh,
here.
uh, 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 uh.
You already know Bruh Migos Podcast. Your boy Price, Rob.
Me,
We are here today. Talk sports. Get with y'all. Come vibe.
so many sports, all the sports, every sport. Not every sport. Really,
Not
it's
every
like maybe
sport.
three or four.
Yeah,
Like today.
a lot of good stuff we're gonna talk about today. But first, we gotta ask you guys this. This has been a question. We saw this question and we want to ask you guys this question because we want to, expand upon this. Which is harder to get? 5 sacks in a game or 5 stolen bases in
Hmm.
baseball? Now, quick answer, real quick. Rob, which one do you think is harder to get?
I said sacks.
You said the sacks?
Yep.
I think I'm gonna agree with you, but I'm gonna say this. I think the 5 stolen bases probably is just as hard. The sacks I
Mm-hmm.
think is a little bit harder just because of the people on the field. Where the stolen base can kind of be a timing thing and
Yep.
just getting off on that pitcher at that particular moment
Mm-hmm.
and not having a gunning ass catcher behind the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Because them 5 sacks, that you gotta work. You gotta
Yes.
work for them 5 sacks.
Yes.
You gotta work for them 5 sacks.
So because this was asked on Blue Sky. If you go, I could. It was a guy named Strange Keith. His account, he had it a few days ago. Whatever. But he basically posted a video where a guy said he was talking to his dad, and his dad played football. He played baseball. He said his dad got 5 sacks in the game. In high school, he got 5 stolen bases in the game in whatever part he was in. But so he asked which one is harder, and he said, and a lot of people on Blue Sky said the stolen bases because I think a lot of people presume, and I think I get the presumption is that they think that like you have to get on base 5 times, like which you don't. Like the thing about the whole stolen base thing is you can get it in 3 at bats. Like if you get on and you steal second and third twice, that's four bases. Then you just
Yep.
got to steal one more after that, and that's if you got the balls to steal home. Even if you're a woman, you have the ovaries to steal home.
Yes.
And so like if you basically like think about it, yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, stolen bases would be. Well, I say the stolen bases would be easier. Sorry, like it'd be easy. I don't know if I said harder or easy, but it'd be easier to get the stolen bases because of the amount of times that you can. Like you said, they like if you got to basically if you time it right, you get a catcher that basically is going to throw it over second baseman or third baseman's head, or if they throw it at all. Because even if it's runner indifference, that's still a stolen base.
Yeah.
Like and granted, don't quote me because I think that is still a stolen base,
I
but
want to
it's
say it still is.
yeah, but you could basically steal a base and you could just in it could be to where there is no throw for whatever reason. Where there is a sack, it's basically, yeah, the quarterback could throw the ball away. You might have somebody that's blocking you well. They might double team you.
Yep.
Like there's more things that are in the way. Like they can't double team you on a stolen base. Like it's between you, the catcher, and really the person is you generally the catcher and the person is tagging. So all those things got to come into play for just that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, and I actually looked it up. It's been 30 times or 31 times in since the inception of baseball that there's been a player with 5 stolen bases. Now, in a game, at least. Now, in football, it's only happened 20 times. But the
Mm.
thing, the caveat is sacks didn't become an official stat until 1982. So there may have been other games where there's been more than 5 sacks, but it wasn't recorded. Now, pro football reference, which basically recorded sacks from 1960 for whatever reason, because I guess they still tracked it then. They still had basically like that number as like the amount of sacks in the game and everything like that. But from the time that sacks became a stat, an official stat, let's say 1982, it's only been 17 times that like 5 players had stolen bases. A player had 5 stolen bases in the game. So it's about, like I said, the same in
Yeah.
the same time period. But I still say it's harder. It's much harder to get those.
Them five
Uh,
sacks. Them
yeah,
five
those five
sacks is gonna
stacks.
be. Them 5 sacks is hell in the cell, though. They are
Yeah.
hell in the cell for you to get that. because you could be a double team. You basically need to be playing the right offensive line to get away with it.
Right.
That's
Right.
my opinion on it. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna jump right into it. You guys, we have to talk about our NL Central preview because baseball is upon us. Spring training is winding down right now. And we gotta cover all of these teams. We gotta give y'all opinions.
3 more days until opening day, baby.
3 days till opening day. Okay,
Three of them
that's
things.
1, 2, 3, 3 of them things, baby. That's it. Just 3 more days and then opening day. It's hot dogs. It's baseballs flying. It's pitches going 96 plus.
Sundress season. Everything.
All of it.
Everything. Every season is right there.
Yep.
Just like every season starts with dicks, every season should start with sundress and baseball. Everything. Just both of them together. Like peanut butter and jelly. Ham and burgers.
Just bam, just together.
Just all them.
It's about to get wild though, because you guys already know we have to talk about this NL Central. So, Rob, I see you got one up here. The Pirates take over the Vibes team mantle from the Blue Jays. You feeling like the Pirates are just vibes now? They're just a vibes team. That's how they coming this season. Just vibes.
So Baseball Prospectus is thinking they're vibes, but I think they're thinking they're upper vibes. They got them winning 82 games this season. Yeah, I know. And the reason why I call them vibes, the vibes team, is because they went and got a bunch of players that, if this team sucks, basically they're going to be trade pieces come mid-season. No, they went and got Jake Mangum from the Rays. They went and got Ryan O'Hearn. They went and got Marcelo Zuna. Like, they got a bunch of different players that is like Brandon Lau. Like, they got a bunch of different players that is like, the Pirates have not been a contender for a very long time. They have not been a team that you had to basically reckon with for a very long time. And I'm thinking the reason why they're going for a big push in with these free agents and everything like that is because they know fuck well they're gonna have to pay Paul Skeens sooner or later.
Yes,
they got some years. They got some years because he still got his 3 arbitration years. They still got a bunch. They still got a little bit of time, so they don't have to pay him right now. But people are thinking that he's gonna get paid pretty soon, 150, 200 million. All that. They're gonna pay out his arbitration years.
Easy.
Which he deserves. This motherfucker is brilliant. But be that as it may, they basically brought up Bubba Chandler, who was a number 1 overall prospect.
Yep.
Seth Hernandez, they're saying they're going to probably bring up sometime in the near future. They should have Jarrett Jones coming back sooner or later. They would have also got Gregory Soto, who probably will be a trade piece, especially when it comes to relievers at the trade deadline. Of course, still got Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller. Like, this is a team that, yes, can contend, but this thing called the Pirates, which they basically have been this team that just kind of been around. Like, they've been wasting Brian Reynolds' time, even though he really, I guess, really loves the Allegheny River or whatever it is. But this is a team that has pieces that, yeah, they can contend, especially when it comes to this Central, which is more up in the air than probably people think it is. But yeah, like, this is a team that if all these things work right and if all these things kind of go in their favor, they're going to be a major player within the NL. But it's not likely. I don't think it's likely at all because it's the Pirates. And at the end of the day, it's the Pirates. They got a whole bunch of people. Like, when I look at it, it's like they got a whole bunch of people that either were or are number 1 prospects when it comes to, like, Bubba Chandler, Henry Davis, Connor Griffin, who is the current number 1 overall prospect. Like, it's crazy. Like, just thinking about that.
So I agree with you a lot. The one thing about this Pirates team is it has a high in ace, okay, in Skeens, but then it has other pitchers that were not exactly, they're not old guys, but they're kind of prime ages guys. You have a good prospect. You picked up a bat who had a down year in Marcelo Zuna. He only had 21 home runs last year. And the year before, 2 years before, it was 39, and he had 40. Okay. So I look at it like this. You picked up a bat of a guy who possibly could turn it around because he's DHing. He could go crazy for you. It could be some wild shit. Um, Skeens is gonna be A's, probably Cy Young. It just maybe, just maybe again. Uh, I think the team is maybe middle of the road, but you said they said 82?
82.
82.
82 wins. Like that's why I'm like, that's a crazy way because I can't even think of the last time that anybody would ever project
That's
the
just over
Pirates to go.
500. That's literally
Yeah,
one over 500.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's nuts. Like I maybe it is people kind of really like going into like Paul Skeens and thinking like, okay, this guy, of course he just won a Cy Young last year. Like he could really carry this team as an ace, and then like everything else is going to reverberate back. Also bringing up Connor Griffin, who everybody seemingly says is the real deal. Match that up with Brian
Uh,
O'Hearn, with O'Neal Cruz, with Brian Reynolds. Like they have a lot of pieces. It's just that all these pieces they've basically been in the shitter for so long, which it lose to a team that we're gonna talk about in a minute. Not this guy, but a team that we're gonna talk about in a minute in the NBA. I'll just put that as a teaser. But a team that's been in the shitter for a very long time that basically has a really good player that is essentially gonna carry this team. Like I think people are looking at those aspirations and thinking like, oh, this is what's going to basically push them over the top if we just add all these pieces and basically accentuate the vibes and basically make it to where okay, now we are somebody. Don't think about what we were. Don't think about what we had, but think about what we got and where we might be going. It's like if they could make it happen,
I can see
it's an interesting one.
I can see where you're going with that, Rob. I can definitely see where that's hey, we could be good. We could be real good. Possibly, maybe. But uh I don't know. They still a vibes team. But a winning season would be something to build on for them. That would damn sure be something to build on. For sure, for sure. I can maybe see that. I don't know baseball reference. Y'all shooting kinda high. Y'all shooting a little
Yeah.
y'all shooting at the clouds a little bit, I think. But maybe they could pull off a winning season. Maybe we don't know. We don't know. So I see you also calling upon baseball Jesus right here. Lord willing, the Brewers will suck this year. You really hoping for the Brewers to suck?
I
Really
hope the
hoping?
Brewers go to hell every year. It's a continuous thing for me. Okay, so it's like, okay, I know not everybody has to feel this way. Everybody doesn't have to agree with Rob here. But when it comes to the point of like, hey, Rob, what do you think about the Brewers? I say, fuck them. They say, why? I say, because fuck them. That's why. That's the thing is, I do not like this team. Now, let me go back to baseball perspectives and see where they got them going. And yeah, so they got baseball perspectives. It's got them balanced as all things should be, 81 and 81. So they think that there's going to be some level of regression, which there should be. They just basically traded away Freddie Peralta.
Yes.
Granted, they got the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, Brandon Woodruff. If you tell me if you heard this one before, coming back from season-ending injury, Quinn Priester, who I think was one of y'all people at one time.
Yeah, one time.
Kyle Harrison, who was also one of y'all people at one time. Like they have, Angel Zerpa. They always keep a good bullpen. Like Angel Zerpa, Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill. Like they got a bunch of spot people. Plus, still got Jackson Churio. They signed him. They locked him out of his arbitration years. Bryce Terang, who's got a Gold Glove. William Contreras.
Sure.
Like, yeah. Like they got pieces and everything like that, and they still got basically the tattered remains of Christian Yelich's back. It's the most like flimsy, maybe it's here, maybe it's not kind of thing. But fuck them. Like I honestly, like they brought me so much.
I can understand your pain, Rob. I can understand your pain.
Yeah, like generally, I could basically give an unbiased appraisal of every Major League Baseball team of what I feel like, what they got, and like what I think that they can do. But to all those points that I could basically make, they could kiss my ass. Like fuck the Brewers, okay? Generally, figuratively, presumptively,
Mm.
Fuck the Brewers. All right. But so yeah, even though basically they ain't really got shit that I gotta be fearful of. Like, yeah, if Christian Yelich becomes MVP Christian Yelich again, I got you. If basically they basically bring up Jesus or Jesus Made, you know, I don't even know if I even said his name right, but we'll say that. I say, I don't even care. I don't care. He a Brewer. Fuck him. But either way, they
Damn.
bring him up or
Everybody
whatever.
catching
Jackson
strays.
Churio basically like goes to the next level and then basically shoots his own self into the fucking sun. I really don't care. I don't care.
Boy, the hate
They
is
could.
real.
The hate is the
The hate is real.
I'm giving y'all the PG version of the hate. Like this deep, it's deeper than rap over in this motherfucker. But no, overall, fuck the Brewers. They can kiss my ass. Now, if you have anything if you want to say positive about the Brewers, I feel free. I'll you know what?
I'll say this. Trading Peralta, I do see a step back in regression if they're going to be even. I think this team is kind of going to have to lean on its bats a little bit more. I pray. Look, I'll say this. They're going to need Christian Yelich back to heal up, and I think he's going to have to be in the 35 plus range. I think for home runs. I think Bryce is going to have to show up. I feel like they still have some good young pieces, Churio, Terrain, but I don't know if we know even isn't going to get you a playoff spot. Even is not going to get you a playoff spot. But what we do know is if they can be respectable enough to draw anybody else who wants to even be there. Because I feel like every time the Brewers have had this just greatness raining upon them, something happens. I.e. Christian Yelich is back. You know, yeah. But all in all, I could see them being an even team. 81 and 81. I actually could see them falling below. I could see them right at 80, 79 wins, maybe. It just happens. You can't trade away like a Freddie Peralta and be like, we're going to figure out how to win more games without him pitching. And we didn't replace anybody. We didn't bring in his replacement. Okay, cool. It's like bad job training. we got rid of the guy who knew how to do everything, and we brought in a guy who knows how to do maybe one thing. We didn't get back quite the right equivalent. Now, this is a team that I kind of want to talk about with you. What are the Reds except for Ellie starter? Well, Ellie starter wife, you know. Rob, I remember you whenever Ellie came into the league, you were like, Price, this man right here, greatness. He's coming into the league. Greatness. Now, I cannot deny him of what he can do, but I damn sure can deny everybody else on that team right now, okay? What does baseball perspective have to man?
Who now? So when it comes to the Reds, they got them at 78 and 83.
Mm-hmm.
So, or they got them at 78 wins. So here's the thing. Hunter Green, I think they said is going to be out until July, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
So we starting off in the negative.
Oh my God. Because Hunter Green, if you want to talk about somebody else that's the real fucking deal, that man, especially a brother, like that man is a real fucking deal in everything. They're also sending Chase Burns to basically start off in the minors for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure why. But essentially, this is a team that they basically brought in Nate Lowe. Of course, they traded for Key Brian Hayes last year. He's going to be basically the mainstay as third base for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and you still got Ellie. Oh, and they brought in Eugenio Suarez too. So I don't know if he's going to play third base or he's going to DH, but it's probably going to be DH in a bunch. But yeah, like this is a team that's like also a team I don't necessarily like. But and there's a story behind that. If you get me drunk, I'll tell you. But like, it's basically this is a team that they want to be good. They truly, I think, want to be good. But they're the Reds, and they basically have not been relevant. And I can't even think of how long. I can't even think of the last time they even made the playoffs. I got to look that up too. But like, I can't think of the last time the Reds have actually been in the playoffs in any kind of contention. So yeah, man, this is Ellie Dela Cruz's starter wife. Like once this man is able to hit free agency, I think he's gonna be gone. He's gonna be like Uncle Elroy. Like as soon as I had the lotto, I was gone.
Got my money, I was gone.
That man is gone, man. Because he's so exciting. He's switch hitter, big as hell, rocket arm, plays third, plays shortstop. But I'm thinking like eventually he's gonna be full time third base,
Mm-hmm.
like or if not the outfield. But like he is too much of a star for them. Like he's too much of a star for Ohio, too much of a star for the Reds. I don't know what his intentions are because we talked about it with like Jose Ramirez and everything like that.
Yeah.
And essentially, like I don't know. Like I don't know where this is gonna go with him, but this team, especially with not Keith Brian Hayes, Hunter Green basically being hurt, is I won't say dead in the water. They still got Andrew Abbott, they got Brady Singer. I'm thinking Emilio Bagan is gonna be their closer. They got pieces. It's just that they don't really have anything to like contend with the Dodgers, contend with the Phillies, contend with Mets, contend with the best team in this division, possibly the Cubs, which we're gonna talk about them next. But like, yeah, they ain't really got much. Like maybe if Chase Burns does come up and basically shows the fuck out like to his potential, maybe you got something because he was like a top 100 start, a top 100 prospect. But and Nick Lodelo, he's cool. I like him, but not great. But like, yeah, Hunter Green being gone, being what the strides that he made and like where this team would be, that's huge. And I don't think they're gonna be having anything to really. They probably gonna be closer to like 75 wins, maybe 70 wins, if anything.
So I got one for you right here. The Reds are like the book, The Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And the reason I say that is because the best of times is telling you all of the shit that we picked up and how we got Suarez, a guy who hit 49 bombs. He can help produce runs. And then I'm gonna tell you about the worst of times. Hunter Green ain't coming back no time soon.
Nah,
it's not happening.
Nah.
You can think what you want to think that he may come back and that we may have a shot, but you have to get past the Cubs. You're going to have to get past the Cubs in this division. And I'll say this. Do I think they can get past the Cubs? No. Maybe because it's going to be somebody in the comment section, because there's always somebody. Somebody's going to tell me, yes, they have a chance at this. And look, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'll say this. Rocky had a puncher's chance, and he did beat Apollo.
Eventually.
He eventually beat him. But I think that they're looking to try to be as exciting as possible with Suarez swinging the bat, with Ellie swinging the bat. I think that it's going to be manageable pitching, so to speak. And we're going to hope that we can be above 500 and hope that we can kind of contend. And we can hope that the Cubs just, kind of crash and burn. And, the Hindenburg happened once. Maybe it can happen in the Major League Baseball again, and maybe you can slide in there. You never know. But do I think it's likely to happen? No, not at all. I don't see it happening. But just look, Angels in the outfield. The kid said, just maybe.
Yeah.
It's one of them. Maybe this could happen. Maybe it could, but I don't think so. Not in my opinion. Now, as we're moving on, the Cubs, class or ass for the division. I'm gonna help you out with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and call them class. I'll say this: the Cubs are a team where I feel like they're built well enough. Okay, I don't know if you saw Dylan Carlson's solo home run the other night.
He plays for them now.
Yeah,
that man has been passed. That man has been passed around. Oh no! Wait! Who is he playing for now?
Cubs.
Dylan Carlson?
Yeah.
My sweet baby Dylan?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not seeing him. Okay. Good for him.
He hit one in the six. He won in the six.
Good for you, Dylan.
Yeah. He put him up in the six, and I was like, God damn. I like, look at Dylan swinging the bat. Goddamn it.
Man, look. Okay, so because this is gonna come up. I guess he was a non-roster because I had to look it up. He's a non-roster invite. The thing is, that's gonna be crazy if that man gets any kind of playing time. I know this is just a sidetrack, but that man gets any kind of playing time with the Cubs. It's gonna be funny as hell. Because like this is Patrick Wisdom 2.0. Like this is the thing. Like so for y'all that don't know, Patrick Wisdom was a former third baseman for the Cubs. They actually had this with Michael Bush too, what the Cubs did. But never mind that. But like, yeah, like we had Patrick Wisdom. That man went to the Rangers and then started being good and then flattened out. But yeah, like I could go on. I could, you know what? I interrupted you because I could go on forever about Dylan Carlson. But yeah,
Look, solid pitching there. Matthew Boyd, Edward Cabrera is there. Cade Horton, all solid pitching. Hobby Milner is there. I feel like they're going to be, Jordan Wicks, they're going to be there. I think this is the division winner. This is your division winner right here, Auburn. And of course, they took Alex Bregman from me, but we're not gonna talk about that though. We're not gonna talk about that because Alex, me and you.
I would love to.
We gotta have a discussion.
I would also love
to. Whenever I see you.
But I also still don't want to interrupt. No, we did talk. Well, we talked about it in the archives.
We did.
I can't keep a third baseman just like Pam can't keep a man. Like, yeah.
But see, I ain't want the other one though. I wanted this one.
I know, and y'all only had him for a year. Y'all rented him. Like look, it wasn't your girl. It was just your turn.
Yeah, pretty much. But they solid hitting. Nico Horner, Matt Shaw, Dansby Swanson is still there. Of course, Pete Crow Alonso. Of course, you got Pete. And I don't know about you, but every time I think about Pete Crow Alonso, you saw the photo of him and Sammy Sosa?
Okay. And Armstrong.
I mean, I don't know why I said Pete Crow Alonso. Pete Crow Armstrong. Have you seen, I want to say it's Sammy is still light-skinned Sammy in that photo? And it is crazy because he's dark-skinned. and look, hold on, Sammy. I don't want you to take this joke the wrong way. But my mom makes a joke. She's like, somebody beat the black up off him. And then it came back to so every time I think about Pete Crow Armstrong, I think about that particular photo. And I'll be like, the black finally came back after they beat him.
It just took a while.
It took a while, but it got back. Seiya Suzuki, they have a solid. They have a very solid hitting lineup. They have solid pitching. I think that they are the team in this division. But can they win it all? That's a different question.
Yeah,
that's a different question.
That's part of, like, will they win this division? Yes. Will they win more than this division? It's so here's the thing, because we previewed every team except for one, and we'll get to them in a little second. But like, as far as the teams within the National League, like we talked about the American League and like how deep the American League is when it comes to good teams. When it comes to the National League with good teams, it depends on what you mean by good. Yes. Because the thing about it is like, as far as the top tier teams, as far as what's out there, like we got the Dodgers, we got the Phillies, we got the Braves, we got the Mets.
I say like, throw the Padres in there too.
You could throw the Padres, but they've been flimsy, and that's really it. Like, you can believe in the Marlins, you can believe in the Brewers if you really wanted to. You can believe in the Giants, but there's like some top tier teams, and then it's like a lot of like wiggle room. It's kind of like the Eastern Conference where we are with the NBA right now. Like, it's a lot of wiggle room. So
yes,
like when it comes to like the top tiers, you got the Mets, Dodgers. In my opinion, you got the Mets and Dodgers, and then you got kind of like a lot of just everything else.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be real with you. Whenever you was naming them, I was like, "How dare you put the Mets before the Dodgers?" Because in my head, I know that you're not naming them, but in my head, yeah, it's Dodgers, Mets. I'd say Phillies, Phillies, Padres, or wasn't what to me. And then after that, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
rest of y'all
And,
got to fall in line.
and so where I got the Cubs slot is that number 3, because when I think of like the Mets and the Dodgers, I think of like the more balanced teams, like the teams that like, okay, you got a lot here and a lot there. There's things I don't necessarily question about you. See, like with the Phillies, I don't know about how consistent their bats are going to be
Yes.
throughout the season. And I don't know about it, and not only their bats, their health. Because when you talk about Bryce Harper, when you talk about Trey Turner, you got guys that are basically they're here and they're there.
Yeah,
They're here and they're
they're
not.
high in Ferraris, though. They're high
Like
in
like,
Ferraris.
but that rotation is mean. That pitcher staff is mean.
Yes.
That is a very vicious pitcher staff. But it's like I don't know about their long-term health. When we talk about the Padres, it's really more just the past history with what they've done, and essentially like kind of like what we talk about with the Pirates, where it's like you have, but on the other end, like you have talent. You have things that I can look at and empirically say you have some of the best players in Major League Baseball, like when you talk about Fernando Tatis Jr., those kind of guys. But you also basically had some failures where it's like you don't really go over the edge. You don't basically go to that next level to say how good or live up to the potential of like what you are. Like when they had Juan Soto and stuff like that, like you don't go to that next level and then basically show me that you are one of the best teams. Kind of like Josh Allen in a sense. But like, but that's where I like don't really put them up there. But like when it comes to like the Mets, even though the Mets are the Mets, they've had their history and everything like that. This is such a formidable team and such a balanced team. Same thing with the Dodgers. They just got everything. They just got perfection up and down their fucking organization. But it's like those are what I'll basically say the criminal crime. The Cubs right here is like, yeah, like that still upper tier. They're right there as far as like, to me, the third best team in the whole National League. Like like you just talked about, they got Eric Cabrera, Shota Imanaga, Matthew Boyd, they got Michael Bush, they got Pete Armstrong, they went and got Michael Conforto, whatever that means. They still got Seiya Suzuki if he can stay healthy.
And see, that's the problem with this team. It's a lot of weird in the middle good, and we have health problems at certain positions. And look, if they had a killer rotation, I think we'd be pushing them more towards that Philly slot. We'd be pushing them more towards the, hey, y'all pitching is so goddamn good. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you in champion the Chad Wildcats winning it all, Arizona. Oh, you're a Wildcats fan? Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out.
Look, trust me, we're gonna be tuning into the games like right after this. But
no. But no. This is a team that I think can win it all for at least the National League. I think it can win the National League, but can it beat the Dodgers or the Dodgers or the Mets?
No.
I don't they got a puncher's chance, but I don't think they can follow through.
Like I said earlier.
But it's also fuck the Cubs a little bit.
Like I said earlier, Rocky beat Apollo in the movies eventually. I don't think that's happening with them. I don't think the Cubs would beat out the Dodgers. I don't see that happening. It would have to be such a hot streak, and the Dodgers would have to be on such a downturn for them to get through this. To me, it's like this. Do I think the Cubs, whenever I think about that matchup, do I think the Cubs can be higher than the down Dodgers? Okay?
No.
The Dodgers sit on their wallet and they're still higher on a downturn than the Cubs be high.
I mean, yes, the Ricketts got money though.
Yeah, but they not spending money though.
That's the thing. And I remember listening to an interview with Andrew Friedman, and he basically pulled out, he was like, hey, of these other teams only spending like 30% of what they got to basically bolster their roster. We're spending like 70%. Like they do, even though they got a lot of money, they allocate it to their baseball. Where motherfuckers would be like, they like the gif of the Dave Chappelle with his money like from the Oprah segment where he's like,
yeah, Right.
Like that's
Half
how they are.
half of them are gonna hold this money forever, and we're not gonna get anywhere. So if you're not spending money in baseball, you're not gonna see the turnover that you want. The Dodgers are showing you the turnover of money, attendance, championships, just an abundance of talent on the field. They're showing you what the turnover is if you decide to spend money. Cubs not spending no damn money. Like you
I like
said,
that.
Dave Chappelle, don't don't take my money.
Yeah.
But it is what
Now,
it is.
I mean, the what I will say is, as far as like within payroll, it looks like the Cubs are number 8. So they do have a chance. Like you got to be in the top 10 base. Well, not got to be, but generally the top 10, anybody in the top 10 in baseball when it comes to payroll wins the World Series. You don't really find anybody outside the top 10 to win the World Series. They ain't got to be number 1. They just got to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like it's been a bunch of 5, 6s. It's been some. I mean, of course, number 1 the last couple of years. Well, no, number 1 last year. I think the Mets was like the year number 1 the year before.
Yeah, I
But
think so.
essentially, yeah, like you basically got to be in the top 10.
Okay, now for the last team in this division that we're going to cover, and then we'll be covering every
Okay.
team in baseball
All right.
over the past
All right.
few weeks. Your St. Louis Cardinals. Rob, how do you feel about your Cardinals?
Okay. All comes down to this. We've gone through all 29 other teams. 29 teams that have great things, they have negative things, they have things that you can aspire for, they have things that you can very much criticize. Like there is so many things, so many ways I can basically talk about each team when it comes to Major League Baseball. And I see a lot of people talk about Cardinals and like what they're doing and how they're acting, reacting, especially with the amount of trades that we had this offseason when we talk about giving away, essentially giving away Nolan Arenado because we're still paying him still most of his money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Trading away Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras, like giving them just a lot of just stuff that we had that we used to basically go, and push for the future. Basically giving away, got a lot of spots. We did bring in Dustin May, from your beloved Red Sox,
Yes, you did.
because of the person right over here. No, right over here, Mr. Kane Bloom, who was a former Red Sox executive. He's replacing this guy, John Mozeliak, who is the president of baseball operations. So this is a whole new era for Cardinals baseball. This is going to be the first season without Mo in a very long time. It's been Cardinals fans. It's been a long time in Mo we trust. Very, very long time. And that's why I have optimism when it comes to this team. Now, granted,
Really?
a lot of Cardinals fans have been beaten the fuck down the last few years because of everything. Like whether you're talking about the team that hasn't really made the playoffs in a long time. When we did make the playoffs, didn't do anything in the playoffs. Like we haven't gone to the NLDS in I can't even remember how long. It's been a long time. Like
10?
probably since the world. No,
10, 12,
no.
something like that?
It's been
10,
a
12
while.
years? Something like that?
It you know what, I'm gonna look it up in a minute. But essentially with this team, it's hard to basically okay. I know a lot of people are basically like the Cardinals are going cheap. The DeWitts don't want to basically spend. That's putting ourselves in the shitter. What I would combat with, okay, the last time we went to the NLCS was 19.
Okay.
We got swept.
By who?
And so let me look. That was the last year of Schilt, I think, or one of the last couple years. Oh, yeah, that was the year that the Nationals won the world title. Man, Anibal Sanchez, who we thought wasn't going to do shit, pitched 8 innings because we were like, as long as we get through Anibal Sanchez, we'll be fine. And then Anibal Sanchez said, no, the fuck you won't, and then put the boot to ass right there in the NLCS and basically pitched like 8 scoreless. And it was because we were like, all right, because because if we get through Annabelle Sanchez, all we got to do is deal with Max Scherzer and Strasburg, and we'll be fine. And then that nigga just said, ha, 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 fuck you. And then just basically just his foot probably still in our ass. I got nothing against you, Annabelle Sanchez. I did not think you. I was unfamiliar with your game, sir. But either way, like, yeah, that was the things. Yeah, it does. But that was the last time we've had any real playoff success. So when it comes to this team, Baseball Prospectus has us winning 66 games. If we round up 67 games. Our pitching staff, our pitching rotation is as follows. And tell me if you've heard the name before. Matthew Liberatore.
Yes, heard him.
Andre Palante.
Heard him.
Michael McGreevy.
Him too.
Dustin May.
Definitely heard him.
Kyle Leahy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, because my boy Smart, he knows about these teams, especially because all these niggas were on the team last year, except for Dustin May.
Yep.
And we have a lot of people waiting in the wings. Quinn Matthews, Gordon Graceffo. We got basically a lot of things that we could look forward to. And now, granted, I'm going really long about this, and that's really because I have, and this is not cope. This is not something where I'm like, oh my God, I have to deal with this team basically having no stars for the first time in a while. Nah, man, this is really more than I'm like, we got JJ Weatherholder, which is one of the top prospects in all of baseball. We got Mason Wynn, who I think can be a superstar in baseball if given the chance. We got Victor Scott, who is possibly the fastest person in baseball. We got Ivan Herrera, if he can stay healthy, is one of the best hitters can be one of the best hitters in baseball. We have Jordan Walker, who I still believe in.
He does.
I sure do. And I'm probably I'm gonna be the last one on that fucking island until that motherfucker is not on a fucking baseball field ever again. I will believe. I believe in Jordan Walker. I believe in Jordan Walker. I will. I do. And that's mainly because he's a brother and he seems like he has the tools. And we got like 10,000 catchers. But either way, other than that, like, this is a team that I really feel that he be the best person to say what exactly it is. But I really believe this is what I think the plan is for the St. Louis Cardinals. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to basically get a lot of these guys who have never really had a ton of touch time with the league to basically get that touch time, be great, and then bring in a star or stars to the team eventually, possibly when the DeWitts die. But either way, they will basically go, because we did it before. We brought in Paul Goldschmidt. We brought in Nolan Arenado. Mainly because
on the demise of the owners is wild.
Well, prove me wrong, DeWitts. Prove me wrong, Bill DeWitt. All right? Because look, like I was going into, we got the Arenado trade basically for nothing. Like, we traded away a bunch of bullshit and got Nolan Arenado. We also signed Paul Goldschmidt around that same time. So it's not to where they haven't gone out and been aggressive to get players that are worth a damn. Paul Goldschmidt won an MVP with us. Nolan Arenado was in the top 3 in that MVP voting that same year. So it's not like we never did it. But I think the thing is, we had to get them out of there in order to get even though he's not great, but these guys, he won a Silver Slugger last year, Alec Burleson,
yeah,
and the JJ Weatherholtz, because there was no real spot for him because we had to trade away Brandon Donovan, which is another guy we had to give away. But we got City J. Like, we had to basically move guys that were worth a damn to basically give guys who we think could be possibly better than them a shot and actually touch time within the league. Is this year going to suck for us? Probably. Do I care that it sucks for us? No. And the main reason being is because if we got to basically give guys that are younger more time in the league to basically get in front of major league pitching, in front of major league talent, to then become better major league players, I think it's worth that sacrifice. Plus, I ain't paying for tickets at Busch Stadium anyway. But I think this is a good thing for the team overall. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but we've been swallowing bitter pills for this fucking team for at
Yes.
least the last few years. So it's just another one. But at least, if JJ Weatherholt is in the opening day lineup and is starting for this team and is possibly becoming one of the all-stars this year, and then we have the best middle infield, if that does happen, we have the best middle field infield in baseball between him and Mason Wynn. I am much good with that. I am very good with that because there is at least guys, like I said, Ivan Herrera, with Alex Burleson, with Mason Wynn, with JJ Weatherholt. This can be a team that is something that will be good and especially can be good to add another piece with. So with this team, the team on my chest, the 314, the representative here from the 314, I approve this team. Okay, Mr. Bloom, you, I approve you. What you doing? Just don't fuck up my approval.
That's what he's telling you. Now, I'll say this, Rob. If that's the plan, I hope that works out for you. Me, I'm sure. I got a lot of good talent over in Boston that we gonna develop, and
We full.
We on the right path. But I think St. Louis might have a solid thing with what they're going with. They might.
Yeah.
It just all depends. But enough of that. Finally covers us covering all teams in baseball, giving you guys our preview with 3 days to spare. We got it right in there. We got it right.
Which we'll have a little bit more MLB coming. So
yeah.
We crescendo next week.
Yeah. Now it's time to talk about what is going on right now. March is so mad. March is so goddamn mad right now. Do you have a bracket alive?
Oh my God! Barely.
You have one?
like oh boy, barely. Like my thing is at 55%. Like, of course, we had I did at the last minute do a Bramigos pod tournament challenge.
Yeah.
And it's only me and the homie Bisky who is still on assignment here.
I was supposed to do one. I'm upset that I didn't do one, but I'm kind of glad because I had one bracket. I remember thinking that I was going to do our bracket with Wisconsin beating High Point, and Wisconsin lost High Point by 1 point.
Yeah.
It's crazy work. I did lose a bracket, and I remember saying this to one of my other homeboys. I got a bracket that it would still be alive, but I lost by a total of 3 points because TCU beat Ohio by 2. And High Point beat Wisconsin by 1, and I was like, "You motherfucker, you did me dirty."
So right now, all like my Final Four is still intact. I got in my Final Four, I got Purdue, I got Duke, I got Purdue, Duke, Arizona, and so champion. I got Arizona, and then I got Michigan as my Final Four, and of course that's still intact. I think most of my Elite Eight is still intact. I think. Basically, I got most of my shit still
Purdue
intact, except for like
you right now by 4 points.
Yeah,
57 seconds.
Yeah. So if they could like win out, I'll be straight. But like, yeah, like most of my shit is still mostly intact. Like the only one I think my Sweet 16 kind of got fucked up with Vanderbilt losing.
Yeah.
I had basically Vanderbilt beating Nebraska. But most of mine is still here to go. It's just that yeah. Oh no, let's see. Florida, I got Houston. I'm still trying to figure out what my brackets actually look like, because I'm trying to go do this shit from ESPN. I mean, granted, it's only 2 brackets left that are perfect, which bullshit. But be that as it may, my shit is my Final Four is Houston. Excuse me, it's Duke, Houston, Purdue, and Michigan. That's what my Final Four is. Yeah, so that's that. And then like my Elite Eight is Florida, Houston, Michigan, Iowa State, Arizona, Purdue, and then Duke, and then Michigan. So yeah, they got 1s and 2s and 1s and 2s.
That actually sounds pretty good. I will say this: Duke gave me a scare first round because they only beat Siena by 6. They like scared the hell out of me. I was like, why is Siena hanging with Duke? Like this, a 1 versus a 16 with
Yeah.
that scared the hell out of me. But they bounced back. They slapped TCU after that. They said, okay, we're gonna show you how this gets down. I'll say this. I think Michigan might win it all.
Hey, look, that the way they beat up on the Billikens, I was gonna say, well, from
The that she St.
like,
Louis, but
yeah, right there in downtown. Yeah, like I thought that basically it was a chance that like, yeah, they, they was gonna get, or I was like, okay, maybe they might have a chance, especially coming out of halftime. Like, okay, they might do it. Michigan got that length, pause. Like Michigan got like so much length and athleticism that it's like, yeah, man, they might if they keep it going, like they could, whew,
Michigan
they
is a
gonna be on one.
problem.
Yeah.
Michigan is a real problem, but we're gonna see who they play to win out of Texas Tech and Alabama, which I think that's gonna be a close game. That's gonna be a real close game right there, because Alabama don't play no goddamn defense.
Mhm.
Alabama is a bunch of offense. And I like to think Alabama is James Harden in team form. Ole.
Yeah, it's just like, look, no, they got that Mike D'Antoni, like, look, 7 seconds or less. Even if they score 7 seconds or less, fuck
Yeah,
it.
they with it. They gave Hofstra the business. It was 90-70. I knew that they were gonna put the brakes on. Bama's one weakness is they're not playing defense. Bama does not play no goddamn defense. Where Houston plays a shit ton of defense, and that's how they start.
Yeah.
Cause the game can be tight the first half, and then Houston to pull. The game was kind of tight first half between Houston and Texas A&M, and second half Houston was like, okay, this is the point where we throw our head back and laugh, just like on the Georgia Jungle movie. And it was because it ended. First they were leading 28-46, which it ain't too tight, but it was like, okay, it's doable. They within a little bit. They within 18. They could have a second half swing. And Houston was like, the hell with a second half swing. They ain't having nothing. 29-42 again. Get their ass up out of here.
Real shit. I didn't realize that shit was from Georgia the Jungle. I've only seen like the clips and like the gif. Like I ain't never knew that shit was from Georgia the Jungle.
I have watched so many movies. I can tell you quotes between me and House. Shout out to House. We have probably watched so many movies and know where so many quotes come from. And it's like, you remember that? And I was like, every time I see that meme, I'm like, that's Georgia Jungle. I remember this movie. But Houston is crazy defensive wise. They hang their hat there, and they've been, to me, a little bit better on offense this year. They are crazy good.
Yeah.
And today we still got Kentucky, Iowa State. We still got Tennessee, Virginia. We still got Texas Tech, Alabama today. We still got Florida.
It's a good amount of games today.
Which I think Florida probably about to gap Iowa today. I'm sorry, Iowa. It ain't happening for y'all. And Purdue managed to hold on 1-10. Look at them. Look what they doing, saving that bracket over there. Arizona and Utah, the guy who just had here, he was Arizona. He said Arizona winning it all. I think that they're probably gonna put the brakes to Utah tonight. Probably by 10 at least. St. John and Kansas. People want to see St. John win because Cal is over there. It's gonna be him versus Duke again. This could be interesting if they. I think St. John might pull it off. They might beat Kansas tonight. That could be a real good one. And Viskies, UCLA versus UConn. People are looking for Connecticut to pull it out. You never know. UCLA did struggle a little bit towards the end with UCF the other night, so it could happen. But March has been mad. March has been extremely mad, but it's all great. And I love the college basketball that's popping off right now. I love it. This is, like I said, this is that peak. To me, it's like peak sports time right now. We got a little NHL going. We got MLB about to come into the fold in 3 days. NBA is kind of reaching seasons and about to go in the playoff. It's just a lot. Just take it in. Just take it in. Just take it in. Just waft. Just waft. Just waft.
Oh boy,
It's just all there. It's all there right now. It's all there. And it's one of those things that you gotta appreciate right now as a sports fan. You have to appreciate this as a sports fan and just say, you know what? I love this time of year. Hell, then look in the real world, sundress season. You can look at all the women right now. It's an amazing time of year right now, and you cannot deny it.
Mm-mm.
You can't deny it. Now, we're gonna move on. NBA. This one is gonna hurt me a little bit, but I'm gonna ask you guys this: has there been a team that was halted by an injury during their run that stopped them from being great that year? Did any of that come to your mind, Rob?
Mm, I've been thinking. I've been trying to think about this once you said it. And as far as like, who? Because like I think of like those Derrick Rose like Bulls years,
Mm-hmm.
but like those Bulls was still like pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like that was the first thing that came to mind. But like um, Kyrie, Kyrie in the finals, the first championship run by the Warriors. Like that was like that was a huge derailing injury for that team. It was like you could see that because they were up until like overtime, and essentially Kyrie getting hurt, like basically like stamped down like that team,
The brakes
and
on.
then yeah, and then Cavs won next year, and then Warriors got KD, and the rest was history. But yeah, no, that first finals with the Warriors and the Cavs, like yeah, that was a huge injury. I would say that
I even have
really derailed.
another one that goes with Kyrie. The year that him and KD were in Brooklyn and they weren't being, because remember that's the year a toe on the line. It
Mm-hmm.
stops them from going in, and Milwaukee wins that year because they were the finals. That's why I said KD could have another ring if it wasn't for a toe on the line or Kyrie not being injured if he was there.
Can I give a speculative one to like kind of like really like keep with the theme here? Think about the fact that like Kyrie, AD, and Cooper Flag last year was supposed to all basically come together in the time. Think about if that team had Kyrie and Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag basically running from the 1-3 and possibly 4-5. That's a hell of a team.
Yes, it
Like
is.
you got lob threat with Anthony Davis, you got lob threat with Cooper Flag. Basically, both of them. You have Cooper Flag not even having to play point guard. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, that was this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
I
this
was
year.
gonna say
That's this
last
year.
year, but even having Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving just basically being together, like that would have been fucking crazy, dog. Like,
I'm telling you.
but Kyrie just hasn't played, or
I,
he got hurt.
yeah, he's hurt, but him not being there, that's a huge. Him and AD, well, and not AD is a wizard now, but
Yeah.
but that before he got traded, that was like, man, could you imagine them like
What
if they
if?
would have that's a huge what if that could have
Yeah.
been something special right there. That really
Woo,
could have been
baby.
something special. Like that now it's gonna be his turn maybe with Trey Young, which Trey Young is one of the deadliest pick and roll guards out there right now, and we gonna see where the Wizards pick fall, but it could be crazy. This could be
Mm.
crazy for them. Uh, but we gotta talk about the Pistons and with Cade Cunningham, he's gonna be down. They say at least 2 weeks with the collapsed lung, which is crazy how this happened.
Crazy.
Is this rest in peace to their title chances? I'm gonna say this. It looks like it, but
Hmm.
I think that they're going to rally because they've still been able to win without him, but they're going to need him in the playoffs. They will need
Yes.
him. Cade Cunningham is part of the is part of the major engine that runs this. Him, Jalen Duran, these guys get out there and they hustle. And that Pistons team on the low, that is a very scary team. Now, granted, Boston wasn't at full power, but I think that they could still hang with Boston even at full power with Jason Tatum. Which I also say this, I,
From
the Lou, which I'll say that he should have stayed out the entire season. Because as I've watched him, even though he has little moments of he's having, he should have stayed out and finished recovering to get himself
mm,
in shape. I know that he wants to help that Boston team win. But Jalen Brown has been the man. He's been the engine. all of that, if he could ever be a number one, that should be out the door.
Yeah.
You should,
It's
if you,
it's done.
yeah, if you were ever saying Jaylen Brown couldn't be a number one, it should be out the door right now. You
R.I.P.
shouldn't.
that opinion.
Yep, that your opinion for that should be dead in the water right now. He's proven that he can be a number one, and he's done something that I think not many people are willing to admit to. Since Tatum has been back, he has taken a lot of shots at time. He's trying to find himself. I understand it. Because I know it's like a guy who got into it with me about minute restrictions. Trae Young. You know, you don't know ball. I know ball. I know what the hell I was watching. I know whenever people playing people at just a certain time. But I feel like Tatum, you're looking now, and I think if you're a team looking for a star, can I make a trade for Jaylen Brown? What's the asking price? If Tatum doesn't bounce back right away, could I maybe go to Boston and see about getting a Tatum, take a shot on him? Or would I maybe take a shot at a Jaylen Brown? Because at one point before KD went to Houston, Houston was looking at Jaylen Brown. And now I'm looking at Houston like, maybe you should have went and got him. This could have worked for you guys. You would have had a younger star. You would have had a guy there.
Long-term solution.
Long-term solution. And this is the thing. I think now, if you're a fan and you're in Boston, my next concern is Boston going to keep this thing together? Knowing what we know right now with their ability to plug and play with all of these other guys, with Bailey Shireman coming off the bench, guards are coming off the bench, all of these guys coming off the bench and showing that they can play quality, meaningful minutes and help win a game. Now you're looking like, maybe we could, even though Vujicic is going to come back, you got another big man who's pick and roll, we got a jump shot. Now you're looking at it like, maybe I could lose somebody and I'll be all right. I could lighten this salary cap, because that's what they had to do with Porzingis and Drew Holiday. They had to come up off of the salary cap. But then you picked up a Vujicic and pieces like that. So you're looking, maybe. But getting back to the topic, does this kill the Pistons? I don't think so. Will it affect them? Yes, because if he doesn't bounce back at 100%, they're not going to know exactly where they are. Like, do you think that this kills their chances, Rob?
Yeah, and I think it's because of that. Like, having him come back. Granted, I've never had a collapse lung. Have you had a collapse lung?
No, I have not.
And so I don't know what his wing gonna be back. And here's where I disagree with what you said about him and the Pistons. You said that he was part of the engine that runs that Pistons.
You feel like he is?
He is the whole goddamn engine. That team basically runs through him, and basically, like, when it comes to the playoffs, that's when basically you run through your best player. And with him, we don't know exactly. Like I said, 2 weeks to be reevaluated. I think the playoffs start in about a month. Like, it's like even less than that.
Yeah, around April 12th, something like that. April 12th should be winding
down
the games.
So we don't know what he's going to be back. We don't know what exactly shape he's going to be when he gets back. I don't even know what happened with his collapsed lung, to be honest with you. I don't know what collapsed his lung. I don't know if it's like a Tyrod Taylor situation or what. But we don't know, like, what he's going to be. And with that uncertainty with a team like this, where it's like you don't really have another playmaker that you could really run through, like, I don't really see, and they don't really shoot well. They basically do. I think they give up a lot. They give up a lot of fouls. Like, this is a team that basically was really one foot on a banana. Well, they were the fuse. They were a lit fuse that was like this close from exploding, and they kind of just basically been able to, like, delay it. This might be where they go kaboom. Like, I ain't saying they're gonna get swept, but I can really see them getting swept, whatever series they're gonna be in, especially because they're gonna be like, what, a 1-2 seed, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, like, depending on who they're going against in the first round, like, I could see a sweep if Cade Cunningham doesn't go back to being the MVP caliber guy that he is. And I have a little bit of skepticism if he's gonna be able to do that, especially from a fucking collapse lung.
and it's hard because he got drafted in 21, and I remember them looking at him like, is he gonna be the guy? And then now all of a sudden, like with the past 2 years, it's like this guy is the guy for them. Look, Cade to me he's that type of guard that's MVP. You know who was the prototype before him? I don't know if people remember Michael Carter Williams.
Oh
Michael
yeah,
Carter Williams was supposed to be that big, tall guard.
rookie of the
That
year.
yep, rookie of the year. That they were like, this is the guy. He's a huge guard that he can run and he can be physical. And he didn't quite pan out. He was the prototype for the Cade Cunninghams because Cade, I want to say, is a little bit bigger than him. Cade rebounds, he passes, he can score. Cade has a lot of aspects to his game at 6'6", running the point guard. That's like, ooh, he's
Mhm.
not 6'9" like Magic, but he has that athleticism and he can get up down the court and he can defend and block a shot if he needs to, and he can do a lot of things. And him in that pick and roll with Jalen Duran, and they have been deadly. And that team, I'll say, is probably they're hurting right now, even though they've been winning. I think what it comes down to is this: if he's clear, if he's 100%, because they're at 51-19 right now, which is crazy to say that we saying the Pistons are at 51-19 because I don't think that we saw them at 50 wins since Chauncey Billups and them were there.
Yeah,
Uh,
like this is a team that basically, yeah, like I was talking alluding to earlier, like a team that's been kind of shitty for a long time, and now it's finding some success. This is
yeah,
who I'm talking about.
yeah, and I'll say this: if he does come back at 100% and he's ready to go, they're an issue. They are a serious issue to deal with. And I'm gonna be honest. I want to say that they've played Boston, and I don't know if Boston has beaten them both times. I think they either split or they might have the upper hand. Let me go ahead and check while we're doing this. But uh, they have had they have not had the most success against like a team. I don't think Boston has had the most success against them. Which
Mm.
I'm looking at the season series. Detroit is 3-1 against them this year. Detroit has, now granted, no Tatum has been there, but Brown has been in. He's had 41-point performances, but Cade 25-8 with during 18 rebounds. They've been kind of close games. They've definitely been tight games. 6 points, 3 points, 7 points, 1 point is the most recent one. But though that's a team. That's a team. They're
Mm.
definitely a formidable opponent right now. That's damn sure somebody that I'd like to see. And they're the only team right now in the East that has technically clinched the spot
Mm-hmm.
already. Boston hasn't even done that. But then there are also three teams that are already mathematically eliminated: Brooklyn, Washington, and Indiana. But I feel like that's the
Mm-hmm.
draft thing right there. That's the draft thing. We trying to get them picks, baby. We trying to get them picks. Now, Rob, I remember me and you were talking about this. Do you feel like the NBA has too many stats?
Yes. So this has been something I've been thinking about for a little bit, and there's so many ways. Like I remember somebody saying it, like a lot of these stats are for people so they don't have to actually watch the games. And I think that's becoming more and more true and more relevant because it's like when it comes to like the amount of stats that you can look up, like the box plus minuses, the net ratings, the warp, and all these kind of different things, the average dribbles plus plus 100 possessions, and it's just like it's way too many things to kind of like what I feel like trying to get somebody to say that they're right about something. It's like everybody's trying to create a stat to say that this player is doing something. And I don't think that that's necessarily relevant or necessary for the NBA or any really basketball to have. Because the thing about it with basketball is, in my mind, the most aesthetically appeasing sport. Like it's the one thing where it's like when everything is going right, it's so beautiful. Beautiful basketball is better than any kind of sport like football, baseball, hockey, because it's so free flowing. Everything is about movement and the movement within the movement. Like it's like jazz. Like I remember watching Winning Time,
Yeah.
and the guy that was playing who was the coach that came in? They had Phil Westfall, whatever. Um, the guy that came in from Portland. Either way, he basically was talking about how the NBA at that time was more about like classical music.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has a part, everything has a place. You do this, it's more structure. It's like it has to be that. Whereas the way that he wanted to play and move towards, which is what the Showtime Lakers kind of did, was everything was free flowing, free moving. Kind of like what with like I've been watching the Soul Power ABA documentary on Prime, which is really good. But it's about free flowing. It's about basically movement and feel. And I think the thing with the NBA is when you have all these stats that really people try to keep going with that essentially are stats you have to explain. Like because me personally, I don't know what this shit means. Like, and the thing is like when you have more things where it's like you have to explain it, and it's like having to explain a joke. If you don't have that visceral laugh when basically it's said to you, you already lost.
Yeah.
Like when you can't basically get somebody, I would say at a layman's kind of level, it's like you already lost. And when it comes to the NBA, when it comes to basketball in particular, I think that there's been a lot of nerd play where it's like everybody wants to have a goddamn stat about every goddamn thing. And it's like you don't need that. That basically makes everything, I would say, boring. And granted, this is a baseball fan. We're both baseball fans.
Yes.
Baseball has a ton of fucking stats.
Yes,
But I don't
we
even
do.
think it has as many stats as fucking NBA because it seems like it's a stat born every day with that goddamn sport. I don't like it. It makes it to where the game itself is more unappealing to talk about because some motherfucker wants to basically talk about some fucking stat that is generally not irrelevant, that basically is only particular to this one person or these one couple people. And then basically it's like, it really doesn't either mean anything or it means something in like the grand scheme of things. Whereas, hey, I like to talk about a game. I like to talk about an actual game. I like to talk about something that I see. And telling me that some motherfucker's net rating is above somebody else, I don't give a shit because I don't know what net rating actually means. I just know that basically if you say, is this over this? Sure, whatever. But it's like, if I don't know what the fuck it means, I'm not going to either use it or I'm going to basically be like very dismissive of it. And it's like, why are you bogging me down with this shit that I can dismiss? You're just basically clogging the system. So yeah, NBA basketball, trim down your stats because I don't think you need them. And I think you need to basically emphasize the actual games itself instead of trying to make another fucking thing where somebody doesn't have to pay attention to your fucking sport.
I'm gonna give you a quick rundown on why I think there's so many stats. You remember the Boondocks episode where he said there are known knowns and
No, there are
unknown
no,
knowns
no.
and unknown unknowns? They're trying to pull out the unknown unknowns for us to have a stat for to show you why this is happening over here. That's all it is, and I feel like yeah, it's too many things. They are bringing stats crazy because I remember whenever at one point it was how many points have they scored in the season? Okay, what's the most points that they have all time? And now you see stats of the most points all time, the most points plus playoffs all time, and this plus
Yeah,
playoffs and that
pace
plus
and
playoffs.
it's like,
And
okay.
it's like are we just bringing this up now because are we trying to accelerate things? Some of it I think is marketing. Some of it I think is they just trying to throw another stat out there. It is a lot.
Yeah, and part of it, like to your point, like it is trying to basically kind of explain the past because I know like when it came to it was Tom Haberstroh, like he does a basketball Illuminati, a great podcast as well.
Mm,
He was talking about the different paces of play when it came to like Wilt getting his 100 and like with Bam Adebayo and Kobe and stuff like that. And he's like the pace of play back then. The reason why you had like the 140 and 160 scores is because they were just up and down the floor all the time. I get it with that kind of stuff. Trying to basically make it to where it's like you get the conceptualization of what the different like time periods were, and like yeah, because he was talking about like with how Oscar was able to average triple doubles in average a triple double in the seasons because of the pace of play was just so crazy. But it is also to where it's like they bog down with other things where it's just like, dog, I don't need this. And you just it feels like I feel like KD when he basically said, I don't want to basically have a hoops conversation and need a spreadsheet. Like, I don't really need that. And I'm not the biggest basketball fan either. Like, I love baseball and football. I like basketball. But like, I don't really want to have a fucking spreadsheet to talk about the fucking sport.
Yeah, we we,
And
we really don't.
I don't remember algebra either. Not a lot. Not a lot. Like, I got 2 degrees. I don't need that fucking shit.
Well, look, once you obtain this, look, I don't need this anymore.
That shit is that those days are done, buddy. Like,
That shit is out of here once I get this. But the next two things I really want to talk about real quick. The Lakers, it seems like they've caught fire at the right time. Luka is on his shit. LeBron has had probably the best game I've seen him have in such a great time where he shoots 90%. Um, the Lakers on fire at the right time, but do we think this is sustainable for the playoffs? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is the right run for them to get a good seeding to face a lower team. But I don't know if this is going to be sustainable for the playoffs. I don't know if 41-year-old LeBron is going to be able to keep doing what he's doing next to Luka. And some people are going to say the brunt of it is going to be on Luka. LeBron just has to chip in. The other guy's going to have to figure it out too. Okay?
mhm,
And I also say this about the run. The run started with a part of the run has had a very questionable moment with the Denver game. And not many people want to hear that because
mhm,
Visky, who's out on consignment, hates whenever I bring that up. He's still upset whenever I bring that up because the refs admit to, hey, we shouldn't have called that call in the last 2 minutes. That gave him a chance to tie the game and got this to where it is and then won it. And I was like, look, as long as they acknowledge it, we all know come playoff time they're a little bit they're a little bit more lenient. They let certain things play out. But do I think the Lakers can sustain this? I don't think so. I think if they run into the right opponent, that it's going to be a fight for their life again. I think that they don't want to see a Nuggets. They don't want to see a Nuggets. They don't want to see a Thunder. Um, I don't know if they maybe even want to see Minnesota. Okay,
mhm,
I don't think that it's certain teams that they're ready to see as of right now because right now would be 3-6. They would have Minnesota. That would be their matchup
mhm,
right now. I don't know if they want to see a Minnesota. Maybe. I don't know. But I'll say this. DeAndre Ayton is an issue as a big man. Something is wrong.
whew,
He's always something wrong. And I'll
whew,
say, and look, and Rudy Gobert is not having the issues that he's had, even though I still feel like he got paid and he's a huge salary cap chunk, but he's a shot blocker, he's a rebounder. He's still
mhm,
and recently he's been getting double digit points past few games. He has been doing what he has to do as a big man. DeAndre Ayton fails to do that at times, and I don't think the Lakers have other proper big men to deal with that. They don't have a Jokic stopper. And
mhm,
outside of one game, every time Jamal Murray sees the Lakers, I swear to God, he turns into Michael Jordan because
mhm,
because he sees the Lakers and he's like, and that's whenever I knew I had to take care of this business, and he gives it to him. So I don't know if it's going to be sustainable because Luka's so hot right now. He's going to have to continue to be hot. Did he make it to the finals? Yes, but in the finals, they kind of showed you where where he's deficient at if you can attack. Now he has been better on defense. I won't lie. He has been somewhat better on defense, but he still has moments where he's lapsing. And him and LeBron lapsing and Austin Reeves being a liability on defense as much offense is there at that time, your big man has to be solid because these guys go to the rim on him. And let's not talk about if the Nuggets are find themselves in the next few games because I will say this, and this is the so to speak. I'ma say We're gonna say sniper in the bush. Aaron Gordon is looks like he's starting to become more of himself again. Okay,
Mm.
he's a big part to that Nuggets team whenever they run.
Mm-hmm.
People forget he had 50 earlier this season. People forget that. People
Yeah.
forget he hit an ungodly amount of
Didn't he hit
threes for
like
him.
yeah, I was like, didn't he hit like 10, 11 threes?
Yeah,
Some shit.
he hit an ungodly amount of threes for him. And I think if he recovers, which he looks like he's really getting himself back in the next few games, this could be deadly for a lot of teams. Because if he's rolling, him and Jokic are known to throw this lob. They're known to play a little pick and roll with each other. Jamal Murray, we look. In words of Stephen A. Smith, he's box office whenever he needs to be. Okay? And if Jamal Murray is there and Cameron Johnson can get himself together and he can show up, that team is still one of the teams to beat in the West. I don't
Mm.
know what people are thinking, but the Nuggets may not be Oklahoma, but they're still a team that you're going to have to deal with.
But they're a team that basically took Oklahoma to 7 and just did not
Yes.
have it work out. It's like they can beat Oklahoma.
And let's not talk about San Antonio waiting also. With Wemby, that's another team. Houston look like they're trying to finally figure something out the other night on offense. They're trying to find themselves. So it's a lot that the Lakers would have to worry about just in that top six. Being in that top six. Granted, like I said, right now, 3-6 they'd play Minnesota. And Denver would have to deal with Houston. But they don't want a Denver dropping to play them. I don't think you want to deal with Denver the next 6-7 games because then I feel like Denver's one of them teams they can run 7 games and then go out here and run 7 more and
Mm-hmm.
the guys are just kind of built for the long haul. Jokic, as much as people love to make fun of him, like I said, he's the guy that you think that he should only play at Anytime Fitness, but he plays in the NBA and he gives people buckets.
Mm-hmm.
He gives buckets at a large value, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Nope.
So, do I think that they can deal with it? I don't know. Do you think that they're ready?
Sure. I mean, I think is like they have a team that does not play defense that really has like we've talked about an aging superstar, a guy that basically is waiting for that aging superstar to leave, in Austin Reeves, and it's in like you said, DeAndre Ayton's right there, not being much of a lick of help. Nah, man, this team is ready. This team is going to get beat in the first round.
I,
This is another team that's basically I would not bank on to basically win more than like a game or two.
and you know what the problem is with Aiden? I think he was starting to grow in in Portland next to Denny Adby and stuff
Mm.
before he had his I want to say it was his ACL went out on him. But you go to the Lakers and you go from being like the number 2 option to being like the number 4 option.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be anything more than the number 4 option. Like,
I think that's the problem. I think we may say he shouldn't be there, but he feels like I was in the finals with Devin Booker at one time and I was the number 2 option. I should be the number 2 option wherever I go. And he's not the number 2 option because there's Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves in line ahead of you.
well, I what I would say to him is that just because you're delusional doesn't mean everybody has to be delusional with you. You can be delusion. Delusion is one of those kind of more just voluntary acts, like the military. You don't have to. Not everybody got to come with you. You basically can enlist yourself in that delusion. Doesn't mean that anybody else got to join.
So, yeah, he might be. He might be. Okay. So, it's one more thing that I got to talk about NBA wise, and this is a little debate that I got into with somebody, and we were talking playoff runs. Okay, so I said, and I will say it again, the Dallas Mavericks 2011 playoff run, I think Dirk had the hardest and the best playoff run that you could ever have to get to a title. Okay, and I will explain. Okay, So the Mavericks pull up. Okay, they get on the scene. First round playoffs. LaMarcus Aldridge now. Okay, that's who they play. On that team, LaMarcus Aldridge is there, Andre Miller is there, Marcus Camby is there, Wesley Matthews, Gerald Wallace is there, Nicholas Batum, whenever he was a force coming in the league, that was the first round. Brandon Roy was there. Okay, that was a hellified Portland Trailblazers team that they played. Okay, they wind up beating them. Okay, then we go second round. Do you know who they wound up playing?
Lakers.
Lakers. Not just any Lakers now. Let's be real. Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher's back, Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum was there. As much as he likes to be called Metal World Peace, I'm not going to call him that right now. Goddamn Ron Artesta's there.
Okay, Howard Cosell.
Lamar Odom, Shannon Brown, Matt Barnes was there. Steve Blake was there. Not only did they beat them, but they swept them. They packed them up. You did pack your ass up. Go ahead. Okay. Then after they beat them, Baby Thunder, the athletic Baby Thunder, Serge Ibaka, not Ibaka, Ibaka, because he was blocking all kind of shit back then. Russell, Kendrick Perkins, Thabo Cephalosha, whenever he was worth something. Kevin Durant, Nate Robinson is there. Nick Collison is there. That's James Harden is there. That was a hellified Thunder team, okay? They beat them, okay? And then, to cap it off, they beat LeBron, the Heatles. Bosh, Wade, LeBron. And they packed them up and put them away. And they did that all with the Mavericks team of Deshaun Stevenson, Jason Kidd, Dirk Nowitzki, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, Jason the Jet Terry, Corey Brewer, J.J. Barea, Peja, who was a sniper, and Brendan Haywood. Okay? I'm not saying that this is the greatest championship ever won, but I'm saying this is the greatest playoff run that someone has ever had to put together to get through and win a championship. Because Mike was smacking people. People ain't see Game 7 against Mike, okay? Shaq was just total dominance, okay? Look, back then, the only person who could have guarded Shaq back then was Jesus, okay? That's it. That's about it. And you're right. Jesus would have had trouble. Jesus would have been, why the hell I make this big ass dude like this?
It would have been like a cartoon. Shaq would have basically scrunched that nigga up into like a sandwich and then basically ate him.
Yeah. I'm saying that this is the greatest playoff run that we've ever watched. And I don't think that, I'm not going to say I don't think that we'll see another one, but I'll say this. I think that it might be some time before we see somebody run through the gauntlet again and win it all. Okay?
I'll be completely honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this on the sheet, I was like, "There's no way." You convinced me, like, because I didn't think about like what he had to go through, like what Dirk had to go through. Like they only lost 5 games that playoffs,
Yeah.
and like you said, Marcus Aldridge, Kobe and Powell, and the Baby Thunder, like, and to then crescendo with the first year of the Heatles.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was Brandon Roy, drop your ass off, give you 30, 40, and you got to deal with him and LA. And LA was stupid athletic, stupid post game on him. He had the mid-range jumper. And the reason that I tell people that this isn't a debate is a guy told me, he said, well, Mike's run against Detroit. I said, well, here's the problem with that, bro. Mike was smacking people, okay? Mike had a team that you knew could be formidable against other people. Mike just puts you over the top. That's it. Mike puts you over the top. Mike is I'm not gonna lose, and that's why I'm so good. Okay?
Yeah.
But Dirk didn't have another bona fide superstar. He had a bona fide floor general in Jason Kidd. This is true. Mm-hmm. And he had Sean Marion, and he had people that played their role very well. Okay, he had high-end role players, and he was the star. Okay, and then he went and faced 3 dudes who were stars, and managed to beat this. Because outside of maybe, and some people try to pick this apart and say the Baby Thunder, that Thunder team was crazy. to say how young they were and how good they were. And
I
that
say, didn't they?
Blazers team was nice.
Because I want to say that Thunder team basically made the finals the next year.
Yeah, I want to say that
Yeah,
Thunder team.
yeah,
Yeah, that yeah,
they made the finals the next year.
exactly. They knocked off the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. They knocked off the Lakers to get to the
Mm,
to get to the Heat that year. So that
correct.
shows you how good that team was. So
No,
like I
they
said,
knocked off the Lakers and the Spurs
there
and the
you go.
Mavericks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
Yeah,
were that good, and the Mavericks had to beat them the year before, and they had to beat the Lakers, and they had to beat their Portland team
and
round one.
they came into the season as a plus 2,000 to win the championship.
There you go.
No, no. You know what? I'm convinced. I I'm with you. Like, no, Dirk basically it might be the hardest run. Like y'all
Yeah,
look, y'all gonna have to tell us if my boy is wrong because I'm with him.
I
I'm
can't think
standing
of
with
a
this.
run harder than that to get to
Yeah,
the to get to this like to the champion and win the
tell us in the
championship.
chat. Tell us in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Trust me, it's probably gonna be a short somewhere. So when you see this short, you go ahead, you leave a little comment in the show. We gonna
bring it
see
on
it.
in. Come to
Yeah,
Blue Sky. Come to Facebook.
man.
Tell us
You
what we're
bring it
wrong.
on in. But I think it's there. I think it's there. Now we gotta talk one more thing, bro, before we get up out of here. Cause I know y'all like, oh, them boys carrying on today. Yeah, you right. We be carrying on here. Okay, WWE. Okay,
Mhm.
Rob, I know that you know you've been catching up, but let me tell you what I saw on SmackDown. I got a little taste of some ruthless aggression the other day on SmackDown. I saw a lot of attitude. I saw a lot of swagger. I saw a lot of character. Me and you talked about it before the show. We had
Mhm.
wrestlers, but now we got wrestlers that have come into their own. They find it, they groove. They got their gimmicks down. They showing their personality. And I'm gonna start with this. Trick Williams, his aura with his feet up on the commentary table while Sami Zayn and were in the ring. Sami Zayn and Aleister Black, and he had his feet up there with his all white on, with his fur coat, and I was imagining that's what Rick James used to post up in people's apartments and in houses with his feet on the table. How he was sitting up there, feet up. Sammy had to go out there and attack him. Now it did cost Sammy the match because he rolled back in there and got caught by a black mass from Aleister Black, and it was over with after that. But it was the aura of Trick Williams. Trick Williams he's aura farming on the highest of levels, and I believe that what we're seeing, and I know some people aren't gonna like how I'm gonna phrase this, but it's not saying that it was a total down there. I feel like we're on a major uptick for people and characters and things that we're gonna see in WWE because we're starting to see more guys pop out. We're starting to see the emergence of more guys. Still got some of the old guys, but you got a lot of new guys. You got a lot of
Mhm.
new going on right now. And
Mhm.
Trick Williams is among that new.
Mhm.
And how better yet, how do you feel about Trick Williams and the lemon
If
pepper steppers?
in the lemon pepper steppers. I've said how I felt about Trick Williams. I think he is an absolute superstar. Like I feel like this is like watching Y2J on old SmackDown. Like this is a guy that basically can be a guy that's going to carry you like in the future. I think that he is amongst a lot of talent, and I think he's gonna have to wait his turn to so to speak. But I think that he is the guy I would put the ball in Trick Williams' hands and feel all confidence that he gonna basically score. I think that he is absolutely great. He has the size, he has the look, he has the demeanor, he has the charisma, he has everything that you want in a superstar. Not just the way that basically everybody's a superstar in WWE. He is a superstar. He is somebody that can carry that company. And I think that he can be a guy that you can put the world title on. You don't even have to. You can do whatever you want. That man is going to bring people in. The man could talk his ass off. Like it is crazy. I love watching Trick. He's one of the guys I love seeing in that company.
He is amazing. Now, this next topic, I'm gonna show you how I put these two together. Carmelo Hayes' United States Championship run has been pretty good. But do we ever think that he's gonna get that extra bump up? Do you ever see him getting a bump maybe into a main event spot?
No, and that's mainly because of his size. I
Okay.
think that I think Carmelo Hayes has that same talent level. I don't think he's as good as Trick as far as like from a charisma standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's great, but I don't think he is as good. And then he's been actually doing really good with his face run from what I've seen. Like he has the kind of like charisma. I think he's better, kind of like Jade, where he's just much better as a heel. But it's like, but I think that when it comes to him in particular, it's his size that I think people are going to limit him on,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it should because I think that he is a damn nerd. He is a damn good star. Like he is somebody that's like he got the look. He's got that natural like charisma. I think his physical charisma is better than Trick,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that Trick is better on the mic. I think Trick is much better. I think he's much more quick witted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he basically has like I don't know whenever they turn Trick face, I don't know how well he's gonna basically be able to because I've said about this when it comes to WWE when they turn somebody face, it goes from all the cool shit, reason why you get in love with them to what it feels like WWE is telling them what they need to be.
Yeah.
It's like no, keep these motherfuckers cool. Just basically have them do cool positive shit instead of cool negative shit. But like they try to there's a demeanor change when it comes to these niggas. But like, nah, man, I think that Carmelo, he's gonna basically get kind of like that mid card run,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna stay mid card because of his size. But I think he has heavyweight potential, he has heavyweight personality. I don't see them, even though he was a former NXT champion, but I don't think that they're gonna basically give him a world title run because of his size.
So I will tell you now why I put these two back to back. Okay. Oba is about to get his shot at Brock. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
There we go. I think whenever it's time and you're ready to end this Carmelo Hayes run with this U.S. title, it's time to put the U.S. title on the lemon pepper steppers. Explain why, Rob.
Here's okay, you say, are you explaining why? Or you want me to explain why?
I'm gonna explain why. We know Oba was taking a leap. We knew this, okay? But I think that we have to give Trick some type of leap here in some way, shape, or form. And it can't be at either one of the heavyweight titles right now because I think the other title is going to be Jacob Fatu. Okay.
Yeah.
I think after I kind of go off on this next title, that's gonna be Jacob Fatu. I think Oba is gonna be in line for one, but I think Trick kind of needs something that I think he needs to come out there, and I'm gonna explain where my mind is headed with this.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carmella has to get knocked off by the lemon pepper steppers. You got to put the lemon pepper steppers on something extra charismatic on the mic, i.e. John Cena. Do you remember the John Cena U.S. title run with the first spinner belt?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember a lot of the clowning that got done on the mic, and a lot of the champ is here, and him with the big show and things like that?
Yes.
I can see something similar, but it can't be Carmella Hayes. It gotta be Trick Williams. Okay? And the reason is, I think eventually it's Oba versus Trick at some point. Not no time soon.
Mm-hmm.
Not no time soon. But that's going to be the ones. And I think that if we're looking to elevate that title again, kind of like whenever they put it back on Cena for a while, we're going to put it on him.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, because I've been thinking about this, and I don't think I'm 100% right about it, but it's one of the things that I thought about. It's like I already feel like the U.S. title is beneath Trick Williams. I agree with you when you say like it should be on him, and I think he'd be great with it, and I think he'd elevate it. because I think that when it comes to him, he will basically put the time and effort to bring more creativity and say how the world love how the United States love Trick Williams or
Yeah,
something like that. But it's like it feels like for me, I would want him just in the world title picture, even though I don't think it's his turn.
yeah.
I don't think that I think that there needs to be a little bit more time for him to basically get established with the audience and everything like that. However, it's like I just feel like for whatever reason, like in my mind, in my heart, at least part of me feels like he's already above the
I
US
can see
title,
that.
above the Intercontinental title. And he shouldn't, and for all intents and purposes, he shouldn't be. But I think with his charisma and everything like that, it's like part of me feels like he just is already
Yeah,
above it.
but I think he elevates the title, not the title elevating him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. 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 I
I
100% agree with that.
that's why I think that you put it on him. Now, it's two things. Is one thing I'm gonna get into with this next one, and I'm apologizing to you, Drew McIntyre, before I say what I'm gonna say after I say the first part. What happened with him and Jacob Fatu, the clips that I showed you, that shit was
Yep.
amazing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think Jacob is gonna be the next one to have a shot at the. He's gonna take a shot at the next championship. Jacob is a monster. What he did to Drew and how him and Drew went at it, I felt ruthless aggression. I felt that attitude-ish era coming from it. I felt the big spot falling off. I felt all of that. And it was horrible. It wasn't horrible. It was great. It was great. But Drew, I'm gonna apologize for this. If they happen to bring back the title to you, either title, I feel like you gonna have to be a transitional champion now, my guy. I can't. Look, just kind of how they just did you in this last run. I feel like you're gonna be our transitional title guy for a little bit here. I'm sorry, Drew. Look, I thought about it. I wanted you to have a longer run. I mulled this shit over for a while. I tried to justify in my head for you having a longer title run at some point, and I tried over and over and over again. I said, well, maybe we can put him here and let him do this. And I was trying to think of all kind of cool shit in my head that could happen with Drew having a longer title run, and then I can't, bro. I can't because now I'm looking at the guys like Trick Williams and I'm looking at Jacob and I'm like, I was like, look, you may not be Bret Hart wrestling, but you're gonna have to be Bret Hart with this title, okay? We're gonna hand it to you every night before I hand it to somebody else. I'm sorry. I'm
He gonna
sorry,
be a
Drew.
he gonna be a 15-time world champion with 30 days as world champion.
I'm sorry, Drew. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't figure it out no other way. Because I can't see them passing on a chance to like give it to Trick if it was available, or give Jacob a title run, or I'm sorry, I just can't. I've been trying to justify it in my mind to say, okay, Drew, I'm gonna slap the title on you, but I know Brock not gonna be here much longer, and I know Ober's gonna take his spot, and I know Gunter is looming somewhere, ready to either end Brock's career, and he's eventually, even though he says he wants to make people ready, I know that he's gonna have to touch the title a couple more times before he decides to leave or be done with wrestling. And I'm looking at everybody else, and I'm like, Drew, you're towards the bottom of the list, but you're really good, and you're good enough on a mic that I could slap this on you for a month or two and then give it to somebody else that's going to get it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Drew. Especially after the shoot with Jacob Fatu. I'm like, Jacob got to go over. I need Jacob to go get a title now. I can't.
I mean, he'll be all right.
He gonna have to. He gonna have to, Rob. I can't. I can't justify nothing else. I've the Whenever I put that up there late last night, I had been telling myself in my head, I say, we can find a spot for Drew. We can give Drew something. We can give him a belt. I, I was trying to come up with fictional tag teams for him to have a belt drop. I was trying to give him a tag partner, and I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that.
It'll come sooner or later. But yeah, to be completely honest, like I think it's fine. Drew has already been a multiple time world champion. He's 40 now. I mean, it ain't gonna be too many times that he gonna have like a great long run
But I
in
thought
him.
he was due
And,
one though, just one.
yeah, but he did. He had long runs. It's just they didn't really have much, and it was partially because like COVID. It was during the time of COVID and all that. Like he held it down for COVID time, and he had long runs. It was just that we weren't really on him like that. But that's partially because nobody got a ceiling. I think that he's a great. I think he's great, and I'm not saying that he's not
He
great,
didn't
but I
get the
think
light
that
though, Rob. He didn't
he's
get the
great.
light.
He's great, but Jacob Fatu was younger, which I didn't realize Jacob Fatu was younger than me. I would have thought that nigga was 40. That nigga is 33.
Yeah, yeah.
That nigga is I if you would have gave me, if you would have said, Rob, I'll give you this $1,000 sitting right here. If you guess Jacob Fatu's age, I would have said 41. I just for some reason think this nigga is older. That nigga is like much younger than me.
Yeah.
Like either way, that's me being distracted. Yeah, man, look, he's just gonna have to move up the fucking way, and this be fine. Like the thing about the championship, the thing overall with any kind of WWE title, it's a prop. It's something to basically be a vehicle for you to basically get to the next thing. So
Yes, it is.
if Drew is the one to basically if that's the thing for get Drew to keep his relevancy to get to the next thing, it's fine. He ain't got to have no long title run. His WWE Hall of Fame plaque has already been basically made. But I get it. I understand wanting him to have a run because he has been consistently great in the time that he's been back since he got fired. Like he's been consistently outright great. Period. Whether it was in NXT, whether it's been on the main roster, he's been great. Great. Nothing less than great. But there's greater. Jacob Fatu is that dude, and I think Jacob Fatu should be a world champion consistently. He should have that long run because of how great he is.
Yeah, it's coming. It is coming. Look, me and you talked about it. Wrestling is in very good hands right now.
Yeah, there's plenty of talent everywhere, up and down.
But it's gonna be great. Especially after what I saw on SmackDown, I was like, yes, getting my Napoleon Dynamite on, just yes. But it's cool though. It's cool. Now, before we get up out of here, I have a question for you guys, and I want you guys to also engage with this. Who are your current favorite WWE wrestlers and why? Not old people. Like I'm not saying I want people who are active right now. Who are you picking? Matter of fact, Rob, who's your favorite right now?
Probably Trick.
Probably Trick.
Either between Trick and but really between Trick and Javon and Oba.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, Oba and Trick, because Trick is like the empowerment of me saying lemon pepper steppers everywhere. Like if you don't move, before I put my lemon pepper steppers upside your head, or watch out, I'm coming through with the lemon pepper steppers on my feet. I can just say lemon pepper steppers like Trick Williams in multiple scenarios, and it just makes me happy to say that. But he's definitely there. Him, Oba, Jacob is there. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good for wrestling. We're gonna be good.
Yeah.
As long as they continue down the right path, we're going to be great. Now, is there anything else that you would like to talk about, Rob, that we may have missed along the way?
So good night, Canada. Good night, Taylor Swift. And to all of y'all basically saying that my boy basically was talking in autotune. Y'all couldn't be further from the truth.
Yes.
I have no clue. This has been the newest development of this show is that the homie Nate is talking in autotune. I don't know where y'all get that from. That man is not on the autotune mic. That man is just that's his sweet sultry voice that you guys hear in your ear holes and in your eye holes like every week. And I don't know where this comes from. It's like because it was multiple platforms, multiple days talking about this man talking in auto tune. He's like, where's the auto tune come from? There is no auto tune. Like like there is nothing that basically come in here with no auto tune. These voices are not modulated. These are coming pure, pure
Here,
from the source, dog. None of these voices have been stepped on. Nothing basically has been
none of
gone
it.
through. Like this is pure, unadulterated me and him.
Yes,
Like this is that's all that is. So I don't know where y'all get that auto tune stuff from, but it ain't. It
I,
couldn't have been
I
further from
really
the
don't.
case, baby.
I really don't. I really don't. But we love you guys. Keep up with the views on the shorts. Engage with us. I know I got to get back on Blue Sky. Rob is always on Blue Sky. Remember the Bruh Migos live channel where you see us, the Bruh Migos podcast channel where you see clips and all kind of other stuff. And if we can ever get our friend off of consignment, we're gonna add more content to that also over there, similar to his video that went up at one point. Well, we're trying to make more
Oh,
content for you guys on the regular. We love doing this. We love talking with you guys. Oh, get into you some March Madness today. Get you some March
yes.
Madness today. Love yourself with some March Madness today because I know I am. I know it's about to be food March Madness. That's it. Um,
Uh,
but Rob already told y'all. Good night, Canada. We're about to get up out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. Watching sports. But we're about to be up out of here. Peace. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good shit. We out.